hey, hello, 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 hey, hello, 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 hey, hello, 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 hey, hello, hello. First and foremost, this is the week where we are lovingly correcting ourselves by catching the little things as they happen, by moving out of habit, but not old, stagnant, you know, that's how I used to be, that's how I'm used to being habits. No. I say that because I started to record, and before I got into it, whereas I've recorded whole videos and intros and all types of stuff, I clocked immediately, I don't have my mic on. And then once I realized I didn't have my mic on, I realized transmitter wasn't even on. Right. So this week already is feeling like a week where we are off to the races. We are recognizing how to do things decent and in order. All right, Spirit. Because we are in the flow. We have I heard land legs about us this week. We are congealing into this newest version of ourselves, and we can't even help it. I didn't help it if I wanted to. We couldn't help it, right? When I stopped, all right, Spirit, can you just give me my usual 6, please? We already have 1, so just give me 5 more. Now the cards are they're supposed to be there. Thank you. 6 of Pentacles on the bottom, so they heard what I said, so they're gonna give me what I asked for. That's the kind of week that this is. That's the kind of energy we are commanding. We are asking and receiving, period. But let's get into the cards. The Night Priestess, that's what I was about to say. The High Priestess on the bottom of the deck. All right. If you're new here, my name is Truth. I'm a tarot reader, artist, woo lady, and hoodoo baby. And I do offer personal readings for general life, love and romance, and career development, as well as custom creativity readings for my artists, entrepreneurs, content creators, anyone who's really ready to invest in their creativity. If you would like to check out my readings, all of that is available in the descriptions below. But for today, right now, we are getting into the weekly energetic forecast, and we're actually switching shit up. See? Knight of Wands on the bottom on our other deck. Because we're getting straight to business. I don't feel called too much to share, or there's an anecdote or story on my heart. We'll see as the video goes along, of course. But right now we're going to do our usual spread, which if you're not familiar, is a little diamond. The first row, first 3 cards is the beginning, middle, and end. The second row is the transition from the beginning to the middle to the end. And then the third row is the plot or flavor of the reading. Ooh, excuse me, confirmation burp. And then we have 4 cards from the Neo Tarot deck that I used in a personal reading lately that I want to incorporate here as well, where it's 4 cards, also in a diamond, but it's in like this kind of situation, if you like that, okay? And I have been treating that portion of the spread as messages from spirit and medicine from spirit. So the first 2 cards are any kind of prescient priorities that spirit wants me to talk about and discuss, and then the bottom 2 cards are the medicine that they are giving us, or the medicine and the magic that they are giving us in response to the points that they are bringing up. So, and you know what? Let's do it all the way right. Let's do it all the way live. Let's get our affirmations first. I did this last week in our collective reading, and I really like that I got the affirmations first because I feel like it set the tone for the reading. So, Spirit, what affirmations would you like me to deliver to the collective for this week's energetic forecast? I am a whole ass vibe. I know that's right. All right. We're gonna get 3. I am worthy of the love I desire from myself and others. Amen. And last but not least, this one was already flipped over, so we know it's meant to be. I love myself, I respect myself, and I accept myself exactly as I am. Precisely. Bottom of the deck, all that I need flows to me with ease. It's reversed. Not that that's any negative connotation, but maybe you've forgotten that it actually can be quite easy. You can get the things you want. You can ask and you shall receive. What did I say? Oh, I love spirit. I love when spirit does that. All right, I'm gonna put these away since we have our affirmations already. And let's get into the reading, y'all. So, what is the energetic energy for this week? What is the energetic forecast for this week, Spirit? Talk to me, baby. All right. We have the Moon reversed, the Three of Swords reversed, and the King of Wands reversed. The first thing that I'm hearing is you know what you know. Why you ain't acting like it? Oh, see, and Death fell out when I went to get a clarifier for the King of Wands. We are in Ten of Swords on the bottom. A period of transformation and transfiguration, right? That is something I just heard specifically, and I kind of want to look that up. What is the definition of transfiguration? But with this Moon reversed here, I am especially feeling that we are ignoring the inner knowings that we have, but as well as the wild sides, the adventurous sides, or really just the unearthed sides of ourselves that we have not allowed to previously be seen or to even revel in. Before I started this reading, I was looking at some pictures and some videos I took of myself, and when I originally was thinking about them because I had sent them to someone, I was like, dang, you know, this was probably wrong, this was probably off, this was probably... I watched some shits back. I said, man, I did my biggest one. I did my biggest one in those videos, and I stand by that. And yet, the previous versions of me was ready to project effectively onto this other person, but also onto the situation, old ways of being, old ways of feeling, where instead of communicating with me directly, people would just drop me, or people would just ignore me, or people would respond when they felt like responding. But the truth of the matter is, one, people be busy. Two, if that were the case, that's valuable information, because then I know how to move accordingly with this person. I'd know, okay, that isn't how I want to be communicated with. That isn't how I'd like things to proceed going forward. And also, maybe this is just a thing for today, and that's it. You know, I allowed myself to sit with the best case scenarios. Where my brain started spiraling, I literally was laying on the couch and I said, okay, think about what the best case scenario could be in all of this. And I think about it too before I like dozed off. But even that, stopping the thought of, oh, this is probably what happened, this is probably what they think, we ain't doing that this week, especially with the Moon reverse. Sometimes our feelings can be quite overwhelming, and that overwhelm is what leads us to mental turmoil and mental stress. But with this Three of Swords reversed in the middle, this is not a week of heartbreak. This is not a week of that mental stress and turmoil, because we are able to check our feelings at the door, first of all, but also allow them to breathe and to feel what we feel, but recognize that those feelings are information, not facts. And with that being said, the King of Wands reversed here is, is this us, Spirit? Actually, this does feel like us. The King of Wands reversed, right? Upright, they're sitting here on this throne, looking out, surveying their, their kingdom, right? And then we had Death quite literally jump out while I tried to ask Spirit her clarifier, and Death is on the move. Death is in motion. Death is actually, you know, visiting these folks. And what I heard is, we're taking no prisoners this week. Now, to what extent that is, let us see. Knight of Pentacles reversed, and the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom with the World card in the middle. All right, so yeah, we are initiating change. Instead of staying in our old post, staying in our old position, instead of moving how we've been used to moving, again, from emotion, from feeling, from truths that apply to previous situations, this week we are actively leaning into our transformation. And now for transfiguration. So it's the transfiguration of Jesus, yes, okay. But even if you are not of the Judeo-Christian faith or ilk, transfiguration refers to a dramatic, luminous change in form or appearance that elevates, glorifies, or spiritualizes something. I know that's right. Is that not? Oh, okay. I'm not gonna go there, but clearly this is for someone. If you're seeing this and this resonates with you, I'm so happy that it does. Is that not what happened? Is that not, you know, he rose? And it's not Easter time, of course, but this is giving a week where we're rising. We're rising from the ashes. We're rising from our seat. We're rising from these old, I don't even want to say positions of power, but yeah, we are. Boom. King of Swords. Exactly. We are rising from a place where we previously were motivated by action and maybe even impulse, right? And allowing that to catalyze us into movement and catalyze us into transformation and transfiguration. And that's how we are elevating into this King of Swords, tapping into this King of Swords energy. Let's flip over the rest of the cards. We have the Hierophant reversed, Two of Cups reversed, and then the Hangman reversed at the top. Okay, let me see some spirit. Let me see some spirit. Let me see some spirit. This is not a week to, this is not a week to hand off our power. This is not a week to leave it to Beaver or anyone else to get it done. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you have the intention to do something, don't say it, just do it, right? Nike ate with that, Nike tore. Because at the end of the day, the decision to or desire for something ultimately has to outweigh or be stronger than any excuse, any mental obligation you could come up with the Judgment card. Clarifying the Hierophant. I'm gonna hold this backwards because they got their little booties out on here. This is telling me that this is a week where we're actually questioning our leaders. We're questioning the folks that we have previously put on a pedestal. We're questioning our own expertise and our own mastery, and not in a self-deprecating way, because don't forget, you're a whole ass vibe, but in a facing the music kind of way. We have the Two of Cups reversed, clarified by the Six of Swords. There are some relationships that we are calling with the Nine of Swords reversed. There are some relationships that are heavy on our minds this week, but we're not running from those. In the same way we're not running from them, we're not overthinking it either. We are allowing ourselves to get down from this tree, the Hanged One reversed. We are allowing ourselves to step down from this place of contemplation and overthink and say, actually, King of Swords, here's what it is, here's what it ain't, right? When you get down from the tree, it's you saying, clarify, well, these kind of jumped out, Spirit. Can you give me just one specific card for the flavor of the week with the Hanged One? The Hanged One reverse is also right over this Three of Swords reverse. So this is actually giving me Eight of Swords reversed energy, where we are seeing what we need to see from a logical standpoint, from a mental, air signy, heady standpoint, and allowing that to catalyze us into that transfiguration, into that elevation, that change of state, of emotional state, mental state. We're allowing ourselves to express ourselves for, ooh, excuse me, so many burps, so much air. I know that's right. Oh, excuse me. We are allowing ourselves the air to take up the space that we need to say what we need to say, to get down from the tree, because we're actually not stuck at all, and we're not overthinking it. We're not doing too much. If a relationship feels kind of funny this week, we're not Five of Swords reversed. We're not fighting it. We're not fighting with anybody either. We're clocking it accordingly. And the King of Swords ain't afraid to, you know, say what they need to say, but we're not necessarily moving from that energy. This week we are more preoccupied with our own transformation, our own, I heard systems. The Empress reverse. I saw her and then I didn't pick her and then she fell out. So yeah, this is a week where we're being asked to tap into our own creative energy. Like I said, we're not outsourcing our power this week. We are not beholden to the gurus, to our bosses, to our, I heard mothers and siblings, to the folks that maybe we have deferred to in the past. That's not the energy of this week. Yeah, Page of Wands reversed. You ain't no small fry, guy. You're a big deal. Four of Swords. And I think that you have been overthinking that in the weeks previously, in the time previously, and yeah, Emperor in the middle. And you're actually even higher, like I said, than the King of Wands. Death into the King of Swords is telling me that you are catalyzing that impulsive thought, pulsivity of fire energy into a more steady, a more clear, a more consistent mode of communication, of expression, of, like I said, taking no prisoners, right? And with the Hierophant reversed and the Judgment, there may have been, or there may be, some people, places, connections that you thought might have been the one. You thought this was going to be the end all be all. And hey, it might not be. And maybe it actually still is, but in this week, you ain't worried about that. This week, you are completely self-possessed and you are being asked to pour that Empress energy back onto yourself. But again, remembering the Emperor and saying that, you know what? The cliche is, oh, if you want to get over somebody, get under somebody else. But really, this week is giving, if you want to get over somebody, go find you some business. Don't nobody want to work anymore. No, I'm playing. But this is the week where you are finding some business, and it's the business of you. It's the business of you saying, I love myself, I respect myself, and I accept myself exactly as I am, right? You're not running from yourself. In fact, the relationships that are making you question or making you curious are the ones that are reminding you that you can't run. You can't escape this Six of Swords reverse energy. And that is leading you to recognize, what's the point of then me overthinking, right? Again, if there's a misalignment in relationship, whether it's business, career, romantic, platonic, sexual, familial, etc., but recognizing where you can't run away from it, or where this relationship, this connection has reached the end of the road, you're not overthinking it either. You're allowing yourself to say, hey man, I gave all that I could give. And at the same time, you are setting the standard, setting the tone for yourself and your loved ones. Like this King of Swords energy absolutely believes I am worthy of the love I desire from myself and others. And that's because you're a whole ass vibe, right? So now, because that feels pretty complete, Spirit, let's get into these Neo Tarot cards. I'll put this up over here. Probably gonna shuffle one last time before we get off camera, but let's see. What are the points that Spirit wants to bring up? We have Five of Cups reversed into the Six of Cups. That's beautiful. What did I say? Progression. We are on a path that is trending upward, period. You see how you went from the King of Wands to the King of Swords, so it's not, and then the Page was reversed, the Knight was reversed. So you're not being demoted, you're not necessarily grieving what you have lost. Instead, you are finding peace and making peace with the joy that is present, and with the joy that you are moving into through this transfiguration and through this transformation that you're doing, right? And the Five of Cups reversed, I always love to point out that these three cards are spilled when it's upright, and they're focusing on that, but not these two over here. Whereas here, when they're all spilled over, it's like they're all going into this like black background, right? It's all flowing into the same river. So the negative feelings, the positive feelings, the uncomfortable or unnamed feelings, we are tapping into that. And not only are we tapping into that, we're allowing ourselves to present that to others in reciprocal spaces. The Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia, but in this case, this feels like a card of connection. So where the Two of Cups was reversed in the last deck, I think the Six of Cups here is showing us that we'll know when we're in right relationship and right alignment and in the places with the people that we're supposed to be, when it feels equal, as above as is below, right? You see this Three of Cups down here, Three of Cups up there, right? Now, what's our medicine and what's our magic? Our medicine is, the Hanged Woman. And this time it's up right over here. And our magic is the Two of Swords. That's interesting, Spirit. Because it's giving me a little indecisive. Can you clarify how the Hanged Woman is our magic for this week? Okay. And how, the Two of Swords is our medicine. Can I get just one card, Spirit? All right. Yeah, Eight of Swords reversed on the bottom. You can't make this up. We got Justice reversed as to how the Hanged Woman is our medicine this week with the Three of Wands. All right. Yeah, we are recognizing when it's just us. Now, if you are familiar with the Hoodoo Tarot, Tiana Macular, love that deck down. I've had to retire it because I lost a card from it. But in it and in the description, it talks about justice, which I don't believe is justice. Actually, it might be justice in the deck. But what I'm bringing this up for is that in the description, it describes justice, particularly within the Hoodoo Black American context, as just us, right? We know that the state, the police, those who are meant to serve and protect aren't always, and usually are not, the places where we receive protection, care, support, etc. And this week, as far as what our medicine is to approach this Five of Cups and Six of Cups reversed, is us recognizing sometimes all you got is me, myself, and I. And you're a whole ass vibe. So that's saying a lot, right? This Hanged One as our medicine is telling me to definitely watch. I've been saying and thinking, watch this space closely for the past couple of days now, but especially today. You are definitely keeping a keen eye on those around you. And like I said, those you have maybe put on a pedestal, those you have thought as previously above you. You have taking off those rose-colored glasses. You are seeing their rough edges. You are seeing their ooey gooey parts that you previously might have brushed over or not necessarily paid attention to. And while it's breaking the illusion that you all might have been in alignment or were perfect for each other, it's such an amazing match, it's also allowing you to get down from that damn tree, all right, and move on into the Three of Wands. It's allowing you to look ahead and say, oh, okay, well, now that I know we're unbalanced, now that I know what needs to be fixed, what needs to be released, where I do need reciprocity, I can go and get it. And by you naming it, that's how you're able to go receive it. And as far as what our magic is this week, this makes total sense. We have the Two of Swords, and then it clarified with the Chariot. Yeah, we are being asked to move this week. Move our bodies, move our minds, switch out our journals, right? Get new pens. I'm straight channeling here. Find the people, places, and spaces that are aligned with where we are going, not where we have been or not even where we currently are. And when you make the decision, I was listening to this song today by the 3 Degrees. This is the year of decision. Yes, this is the year to make a decision. You gotta get it together. That's the lyrics. And that's what this feels like for our magic this week. We are receiving the downloads that we need to receive in this Two of Swords state, and then allowing that to, again, catalyze us. Usually the Two of Swords is seen as indecision and being at a crossroads. And typically that is how it comes up for me and how I interpret it. But given that we have the Three of Swords reversed in the last deck or the other deck, and then we have the Two of Swords as far as our magic this week, this is telling me that we actually are receiving the wisdom that we need to receive in this Two of Swords state. And this person almost looks like they're getting ready to do some like assassin-y, you know, sword trick type situation. And then you have the Chariot, right? So this week, it looks like you're actually about to cut through whatever has previously kept you stuck and what has kept you in this in-between from the Ace of Swords, and really jumping over that Three of Swords. Not to say we're bypassing it, but again, it was reversed. So we aren't being met with a catastrophic, or I like to say, purification by fire. We're not necessarily being met with that this week. Instead, we are cutting our own shackles off, and then we're taking our swords with us. We're receiving them on our back, and then we're getting gone. All right? Point blank period. You know why? Say it with me, class. Because I'm a whole ass vibe, and I am worthy of the love I desire from myself and others. I want to hone in on the desire from myself. Typically, when we want to feel loved by others, let me not say we. I do think we're part of the collective, but I will use I statements here. When I have felt without the love of others or care or attention, and it's like really, really bothersome to me, that's usually when I have been ignoring myself. And that's not the, oh, you know, you gotta fill up your own cup. Yeah, we know that. But sometimes you want the validation. Sometimes you want somebody to tell you, you look hot, you look sexy, I like how you did that, or oh my gosh, I wanna talk to you. You want somebody to call you. You want someone to wanna keep up with you, right? That's natural, that is human. Don't let anybody convince you otherwise. And that's all I'm gonna say on that right now. And comma, with that being said, in those moments where I'm craving that the most deeply, that's usually when I have been starving myself of it. That's when I have not been paying attention to myself. That's when I haven't been enjoying the things that I enjoy or being sensual with myself. Because again, confirmation alarm. Sensuality is not just about sexuality. It's about our five senses. I haven't tapped into what makes me feel good, what smells good to me, what tastes good to me, right? I haven't beautified my space or cleaned it up or what have you, and yet I'm trying to receive that from others. And so I think that says so much that we then end on the I love myself, I respect myself, and I accept myself exactly as I am, because that's what's allowing us to let go of these maybe Two of Cups reversed relationships where we're like, damn, this is giving me butterflies. I really thought this was going to be something. And the Hierophant reversed energy where it was someone you were idolizing. That's what's allowing us to elevate, honestly, through the grief, right? The Five of Cups reversed into truly reciprocal, truly nurturing relationship with others, because we are pouring that into ourselves first and foremost. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you would like a personal reading with me, I offer those in general life overview, love and romance, and career development, as well as custom creativity readings. I will be back later this week with another weekly collective video, and we're getting back to them damn pick-up piles, right? I'll be straight up. I did not anticipate or really give thought to how intense pick-up piles were, because you're tapping into 3 different energies minimum, right? But that's not even talking about the collectives that exist within those. That's unimportant and neither here nor there.